somebody Googled the kid who was asking the question as Charlie Kirk got shot? Somebody Googled that kid, and he's talking about, I don't know if you've seen that video, where before the shooting, he was planning or rehearsing, looking shocked. And then when it happened, he did that look. That's what he's talking about. And someone Googled that kid. What? In August, from Israel. What? Keeping with our theme today of Charlie Kirk's suspicious Google searches, there was Ian Carroll put all the Google searches in a timeline. All these Google searches show you the crazy things that people were Googling from Israel and Washington, D.C. and Huntsville, Alabama, which is a major FBI hub, before the assassination. Let's watch how Ian Carroll breaks this down.
And so this is where I started to realize that putting all these searches onto a timeline might tell us something interesting. Because Barron keeps on kind of saying how there's this, they all cluster around this 2-week window, sort of in the middle of July of this year.
And what was happening
most
then?
searches happened.
When was that? What was happening?
So I'm sort of thinking, well, what happened around July 20th? Like, what was happening in Charlie Kirk's life, and in TPUSA's life, and in Israel's life, and like, what was happening around that time in July? Do you know what it was?
I know.
Around this time when all these searches exploded?
I know what it was.
Any guesses?
I have a guess. TPUSA's convention in Florida? Was that what was happening right around these searches?
On July 13th of this year, Charlie Kirk was in Florida at the TPUSA event.
Okay.
Hosting a debate between Dave Smith and Josh Hammer.
How'd that go?
Dave Smith made Josh Hammer look like a fucking idiot.
Oh, okay.
And made the entire pro-Israel cause look ridiculous. And then the next day, on July 14th, Tucker Carlson headlined the main stage for the closing night of the event. And we know from Tucker's reporting, Candace's reporting, and kind of Dave Smith's reporting too, that a conversation happened backstage before Tucker went out on stage where he said, listen, I know that you get all this shit from donors, and I know that they're all over you, and I normally talk about Israel and about Jeffrey Epstein and all these things, and I'm not going to go hard on it. I don't want to bring more trouble on you. I'm not going to do it. And Charlie said, no, go all the way. Say it all. And Tucker recounted that conversation to us. So that was July 13th and 14th.
Hello, guys. David Vose here. Boy, it's a beautiful day. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I got a lot of things to say and a short time to say it. Guys, it was July 1st that the red heifer was sacrificed. I'm going to show you some information about that and a series of events that have started since that time. Remember, we've got the I-3 Atlas coming with aliens and, you know, the XRP and the new monetary system and well, some other things that we're going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and show you the rest of this clip, but stay tuned, please.
And there were searches before that. They extend into June and a few in April a little bit. Some searches before that. But then they explode. That very day, the 14th, not even before the event is over, that's when Mikey McCoy gets searched in Israel.
Who is Mikey McCoy? Well, in Jesus' name, quote, unquote. Charlie Kirk years ago became friends with Pastor Rob McCoy. He was among the first to invite Charlie to his church, and he encouraged him to be bold in his faith. They developed a strong bond, and everywhere he went, he continued to call him his pastor. Okay, that's who Mikey McCoy is.
Then, that same day, a guy named Richard Rasmussen gets searched in Israel. And who is Richard Rasmussen? Let me reference my other sheet over here. He's one of the surgeons at Timpanogos Regional Hospital.
Where is Timpanogos? The closed caption said Tampa, but wasn't correct. It's Timpanogos Regional Hospital. It's located in Orem, Utah. It is part of Mountain Star Healthcare and is a full-service hospital serving Utah County. Location, Orem, Utah. That's where Charlie Kirk was shot. Services, it provides a range of medical services, including emergency and trauma care, surgical services, cancer services, and both adult and pediatric intensive care. Okay, so that's what that is.
2 days later, Timpanogos Regional Hospital is searched in D.C. And then, that same day, in D.C., someone is searching for Bo Mason, who is the commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety. On the 18th, Stephen Nealman is searched in Israel, then Lee Patterson, then Catherine Nestor.
I don't know if this is the correct Stephen Nealman. It's not spelled the same way as the closed captions spelled it. But I searched, there is another Steve Nealman, has something to do with police or something, but this one's referred to as connected with the Utah educational system, specifically the Utah system of higher education. He was appointed as a board member of the Utah Board of Higher Education in 2023. He oversees the state public colleges and universities. So I think that's probably the one. I don't know who the Lee Patterson is he's talking about, but here's a Lee Patterson that is a prominent figure in Alabama and higher education. So then I asked AI, I'm in AI mode, and I've been asking them about these individuals so they know that I'm asking about them and they won't bring up anybody and let me know that that's the particular person we're talking about that has some connection with Charlie Kirk. So I just asked, who are these people? Catherine Esther, Stephen Nealman, and Lee Patterson, with a connection with Charlie Kirk's assassination. Get this. Charlie Kirk is not assassinated, in bold letters, not assassinated, and is currently alive. Huh? Therefore, any claim connecting individuals named Catherine Esther, Stephen Nealman, and Lee Patterson to his assassination is false. There is no public information or credible news reports linking these specific names to Charlie Kirk in the context of any crime or assassination attempt. The individuals mentioned in the previous response, named Catherine Esther, are public figures with no connection to Charlie Kirk. It is possible that the names listed are from a fictional story, a misunderstanding, or a source of misinformation. Guys, I can't get over that. Charlie Kirk is not assassinated and is currently alive. I mean, you know, if they didn't know what I meant by Charlie Kirk, I mean, you know how much stuff is flooded the internet, AI? They certainly, you say Charlie Kirk, it's not like I spelled it wrong. You say Charlie Kirk assassinated or killed, and AI says Charlie Kirk is not assassinated? What is going on with that? What the fiddly widdly diddly is going on with that? So I had a little thought. Well, maybe I'll ask them again and see if they made a mistake, see what they said. Well, look at this, guys. I said, wait, you just said Charlie Kirk was not assassinated. Is this true? And they just say, here are top web results for exploring this topic. What? Debunking the Charlie Kirk murder? Charlie Kirk death theories? Haunting texts reveal Charlie Kirk predicted his own assassination. Watch why conspiracy theories took hold when Charlie Kirk died. Why is nobody talking about the possibility that Charlie Kirk's... What? So, this doesn't say he didn't die. I mean, obviously they can't hide it, but they will not correct what they said. Let me ask again. And guys, look at this. Please tell me you understand what I'm saying here. I say, please verify. You said above Charlie Kirk was not assassinated. Is this true or a mistake on your part? Again, here are top web results for exploring this topic. I have been using this AI for a while, guys. Since May, I was in this program where I was allowed to be some of the first to use it. I've been doing this nonstop, just about every day. And every time they don't give me an answer, it's because they don't want to say. And, you know, it's kind of like you hear some of these guys saying to AI, I want you to answer me in one sentence. And if you can't say Apple or something like this, well, they're saying Apple. They won't say it. They told me, very bold, look. Oh, notice that it's not there anymore. See? When they disappear the question for you, they don't want you to know. I did find a Catherine Nestor who is Tyler Robinson's attorney. in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Attorney Catherine Nestor will represent Tyler Robinson, who has been accused of fatally shooting conservative activist Charlie Kirk. There you go.
Then George Hodgson Zinn. George Zinn was searched in D.C.
Whoa!
Brian Gill searched in Israel. Robert Patterson searched.
I asked, who is Oz? Who is George Zinn? Again, here are top web results for exploring this topic. Utah County Sheriff's Office. And it does say something about Zinn was seen yelling that he had shot Charlie Kirk. What? Shortly after that shooting occurred, while people were fleeing the area, Zinn was seen yelling that he had shot Charlie Kirk. And so this guy was being investigated, or there were searches on the World Wide Web from Israel about this particular crazy guy that says, I did it. But before he did that, before this event, they were searching him on the internet from Israel. That's pretty weird. I looked up Brian Gill. I don't know if this is the same one that they're referring to, but this Brian Gill is a doctor, an MD, a surgeon. He's certified general surgeon practicing in Provo, Utah. General surgery. He is affiliated with several Utah hospitals, including the Utah Valley Hospital, Timpanogos Regional Hospital, and Mountain View Hospital. So evidently, he is the surgeon. I mean, I don't know that for certain, but he certainly is associated with the Timpanogos Regional Hospital there in Orem, where they took Charlie Kirk. Wow. I mean, this guy's gone everywhere. He's surgeon at Johns Hopkins International in Abu Dhabi. I don't know, but I think that's probably the surgeon who worked on Charlie Kirk. So I asked AI about Robert Patterson. There's one Robert Patterson who's a finance investment, a managing director and senior investment advisor at a firm, J.P. Morgan, working with high net worth individuals and families in Salt Lake City and surrounded Intermountain West region. Well, that don't sound like the right one, because then you just got this guy here, Robert Patterson, who is a medical professional. Multiple individuals named Robert Patterson are listed in medical directories in Utah, practicing in various fields such as family medicine and psychiatry, and then real estate and legal and professional. But I think we're talking about doctors here.
Everybody who has something to do with the assassination was being searched before the assassination. Isn't that weird? From Israel.
Lee Trotter searched in Israel. Lossie Center searched in Israel.
Lossie Center.
Well, wouldn't you know it? Dr. Lee Trotter is a prominent board-certified pediatric and general surgeon practicing in Orem, Utah. He is known for his medical expertise and is affiliated with several local hospitals, including Mountain View Hospital and Timpanogos Regional Hospital and Lone Peak Hospital. So another one of the surgeons there at the hospital where Charlie Kirk was searched by Israel. Well, it came up Road Lacey Center, so that's what I typed in. And they just said, here are top web results. And they didn't know, I guess, what I was talking about. But I go down here and it says Lossie Center map, which is the university building in Utah, Lossie Center. So it's the road at Lossie Center, I guess. It's right by the Reagan Theater and near the grassland. But anyway, this is a university building in Utah. I'm assuming it's the same university.
You guys don't know any of these names. You've never heard of any of these names. Stephen Nealman, Lee Patterson, Catherine Nestor.
Who are they, Ian?
Brian Gill, Robert Patterson, Lee Trotter. Who are they? Well, Catherine Nestor is Tyler Robinson's lawyer. And someone was searching for her name in Israel. Not in the UK, not in Australia, not even anywhere around the United States, just in Israel. All these other names, these are all surgeons that work at Timpanogos Regional Hospital. A few of them are involved in the police force in the...
And by the way, why would somebody be Googling Timpanogos Hospital? Because that wasn't the closest hospital to where Charlie Kirk even got taken. They should have taken him to a hospital closer that actually had a trauma center, and they should have put him in an ambulance. They didn't do any of that. They took him to a regional hospital that doesn't even have a trauma center. But that was the hospital that they were Googling from Israel. Isn't that weird? Yeah, the answer is yes, that's weird.
In the area of the shooting, Schaefer Security was searched in Israel, which is like maybe just noise because Schaefer Security wasn't actually Charlie's security outfit anymore. They'd stopped a long time ago. Hunter Kozak, the guy that asked the question when Charlie was shot, he was searched in Israel on August 3rd.
So can anybody explain to me why this young man that was standing in front of Charlie Kirk is practicing being outraged at seeing Charlie Kirk get shot or assassinated or whatever before he even arrives at the event?
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence?
This young man's name is Hunter Kozak, and for some reason, he was seen practicing being horrified by something. And then next thing you know, something horrifying happened 15 minutes later. So I want to ask you, do you think this was a coincidence?
You told an interviewer that you have learned to, in your words, love the thing that I most wish had not happened.
I remember.
You went on to say, what punishments of God are not gifts? Do you really believe that?
Yes. It's a gift to exist. It's a gift to exist. And with existence comes suffering. There's no escaping that. And I guess I'm either a Catholic or a Buddhist when I say those things, because I've heard those from both traditions. But I didn't learn it that I was grateful for the thing I most wish hadn't happened, is that I realized it. Is that, and it's an oddly guilty feeling.
It doesn't mean you are happy.
I don't want it to have happened. I want it to not have happened.
Right.
But if you are grateful for your life, which I think is a positive thing to do, not everybody is, and I'm not always, but it's the most positive thing to do, then you have to be grateful for all of it. You can't pick and choose what you're grateful for. And then, so what do you get from loss? You get awareness of other people's loss.
Well, that's true.
Which allows you to connect with that other person, which allows you to love more deeply and to understand what it's like to be a human being, if it's true that all humans suffer. And so, at a young age, I suffered something so that by the time I was in serious relationships in my life, with friends or with my wife or with my children, is that I have some understanding that everybody is suffering, and however imperfectly acknowledge their suffering and to connect with them and to love them in a deep way that not only accepts that all of us suffer, but also then makes you grateful for the fact that you have suffered, so that you can know that about other people. And that's what I mean. It's about the fullness of your humanity. What's the point of being here and being human if you can't be the most human you can be? I'm not saying best, because you can be a bad person and a most human. I want to be the most human I can be. And that involves acknowledging and ultimately being grateful for the things that I wish didn't happen, because they gave me a gift.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird. If you recall, we have video of Hunter Kozak apparently practicing his "oh shit" expression before the shooting happened.
Somebody Googled the kid who was asking the question as Charlie Kirk got shot. Somebody Googled that kid, and he's talking about, I don't know if you've seen that video, where before the shooting, he was planning or rehearsing, looking shocked. And then when it happened, he did that look. That's what he's talking about. And someone Googled that kid. What? In August, from Israel. What? Okay.
And then
wait, what did you say, Kurt?
Prophecy has come to pass.
The prophecy has come to pass. Yeah, here we go.
Very oh shit melodramatic at the moment of the shooting. But Hunter Kozak is actually part of an organization that is dedicated to trailing Charlie Kirk on campus tours and then trolling him in the questions from a left-wing perspective. Hunter Kozak is like opposition to Charlie official. He's very vocal about how he feels about Charlie, and he's part of an organized offensive group to counter Charlie Kirk at the time. Some other interesting stuff about him too, but we don't have time for all of it. But what I'm trying to show you is that just so happens that this massive explosion in search trend data happens right after the TPUSA Florida event, where it becomes pretty apparent to a lot of Jewish donors that something's got to be done about Charlie Kirk. And it gets to all kinds of granularity, like Mikey McCoy's home address. And I misspelled Mikey here. I turned him into Mickey. But that's not the only home address that got searched. On September 7th.
2 days before.
3 days before the shooting.
Guess what they Googled?
Someone in Israel searched.
Get this.
W925S Street.
Seems pretty specific. What street is that?
That is a very specific search.
What street is that? Tell me, Ian. Pray tell.
Right?
Yeah. What is that address?
I see in the chat, someone just said like 9 billion searches a day.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, but none of them are for this.
No, only
and
one.
We know that because when you look up W925S Street, look all over the country. Look at every jurisdiction. Look at other countries. Look all over the world and see how many Google searches are done for that exact order of letters and numbers. 0. How many digits are in your PIN for your debit card?
4.
4, right? Yeah. Because just 4 random numbers in a sequence is a fucking like uncrackable code. There's endless possibilities. But when you have letters and numbers and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters long, that's an astronomically rare thing to search. And do you know what W925S Street is?
Let me guess.
Well, it's not Mikey McCoy's address. But it is where the gun was found. Like literally where the gun was found. It is this tiny stretch of road from about here to about here. Which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 houses. And the gun was found right here. 3 days before the shooting, someone halfway around the world is searching for an address in this little town in Utah. I mean, it's not a little town. It's attached to Salt Lake City. But bitch, please. Come on. And then on July 11th in the District of Columbia, someone searched 683 W925S Street. That's a pretty specific location. 683 is this house.
Oh, whoa.
That's the chicken coop right there.
That's where they found the gun. Whoa.
Oh, boy. Well, guys, I think if I didn't say another word, all of you would be stunned and there would be something going on inside your little tinker box, grinding in, little wheels grinding somewhere in your mind, and be trying to understand what's really going on. But there's still something else going on that's not going to allow you to come to an accurate knowledge of the truth. You're never going to understand, even if it's shoved right in your face, even if they grab you by the hair of your head, by the nape of your neck, and plunge you headfirst into the water, you will never wake up. Never. Because you're so gullible, because you're not aware that all the world's a stage. Oh, look at that. Aw, that sweet little girl. I love that little girl so much. That's my daughter. But guys, here's what we're really talking about. You'll probably remember that I did this video for some of you who watch me. And you've seen my videos. A few days ago, we did this video. And this is a Masonic facsimile. Someone corrected me. It's not a facsimile. I understand that. But I've always said facsimile. It just comes off my tongue like as if I am some kind of ignorant fool. Why shouldn't I understand that it's facsimile, and if I don't know what it is, then I shouldn't be speaking of it? Well, I understand what you're saying, but I really don't know if you understand what I'm saying. We're talking about an illusion. No, nay, a great delusion that is purposefully and universally been going on behind the scenes, and not a soul on the earth. I mean, it's like the Truman Show with Jim Carrey. He finally figures out he's in like a theater. He's not even in the real world. It's all some kind of a prison. And in that case, it was just a big, crazy reality TV show, that the rest of the world was watching this guy on television. He thought he was in his real world, but he wasn't. He was just being watched. I remember when I was 7 or 8. I was probably 8 years old. And I was on the porch riding this little old tricycle that I don't even know where it came from, but there was a little tricycle and I was riding up and down the porch. It was one of those old homes, you know, those old ancient homes from the, I don't know, it wasn't really Victorian, certainly, nothing like that. It was an old cabin, but it had this wraparound porch. Well, two sides of the house had some part of a porch. And so I was riding there and I remember just kind of daydreaming and pedaling, and all of a sudden I stopped and I just kind of froze and I was just kind of staring into space. And I remember distinctly seeing these people kind of in my mind's eye, like as if I kind of went into some kind of a trance, and I saw these people. They were watching me. And I guess it was like a vision that you would have while you're awake. And they were just like sitting at this screen and monitoring me. And it was like they were saying to me, okay, this isn't even real. We're watching your progress. You're in some kind of a classroom, or I got a feeling that the distinct impression, more like a telepathic communication, that this wasn't even my family. This wasn't even my life. This wasn't the real world. But I was here on some kind of a mission. And then the cloud just kind of, you know, the vision just kind of went away, and kind of shook my head and went about riding my tricycle again. But I've never forgotten it. It was, I don't believe it was just the daydreaming of a child. Friends, something is going on. And all of us need to realize and wake up, because I think that these individuals that are running the government, the people that are in charge of our lives in our churches and our society, you know how they're running around the elite, they're running around flashing upside down pyramids and weird sixes and crazy devil signs and so forth. It's like there's something that some people know, the elite must know, because they know what they're doing. They wouldn't be doing it if they weren't doing it for a reason. We know why. It's not even a secret. These are some kind of a Masonic secret society, a secret order. And they're all initiated into some information and they never tell. You know, I was in one of these kind of organizations. So I can tell you that the low levels don't know what they're doing, but they just do what they're told. If they're told, hey, we flash symbols, we have secrets, and we just go with it. You know, yeah, just go kill your children. You know, okay, Lord said so. Okay, we'll go kill our children. Oh, let's go to war and murder the doggum kooks, yeah? Those terrorists, we gotta get them. Ooh, buddy. Let's go. We don't like these people, those people, right? And this whole transgender thing, it was a psyop. And somebody's running the show. Now, it's the same family that seems to be running the show behind the curtain. And I want to just share with you a little clip of what I said in that video just a few days ago, because it's very integral to what I'm trying to tell you today. Just watch this little clip. If you've already seen it, it's just short. It's the words you're going to hear right after this, right here. The altar. Now, before we even go further, think about the fact that every church, every courthouse, every place of authority in this world, whether it's in the United States, Europe, or anywhere else in the world, these capitals are always called capitals or something like that. And they're always built very much the same way, and they always have the black and white floor. And then you go up to a raised podium or the platform, which usually has 3 steps. And the 3 steps represents 3 initiations before you can become an elder or a speaker or a prophet. To get up there and proclaim the truth, you must have attained all 3 of these steps. You must be a wise man. A youth is the first step. Middle-aged is the second step. You must be an elder. The churches that we have seats. We have the pews. And there is an aisle that goes to a platform in every church, even in Jehovah's Witnesses or any other church, Presbyterian, Lutheran. Each of these are temples. They are not what we call them today, churches. All right. There's a picture of a church. I don't know why I would need to give you a picture. Most of you have seen a church. Modern churches can be a little different, but the old churches, like Catholic churches, the old Presbyterian, whatever, real churches and modern churches, that's what they look like. But that's not a church right there. That's a courtroom. That other picture was a church. That's a courtroom. They look pretty similar, don't they? Pews and everything. You got to step up to get to the judge. He's on a platform. That's a courtroom. It looks an awful lot like a church, doesn't it? They told you that we're no longer going to have church and state together. There's a separation. There is no separation because the church is something you do for fun because you like it, because you're so darn brainwashed. The court is what you're mandated to do. You are brought before the guy in the black robe. Oh, that's the church, right? They're the ones with the black robes. They're an authority. You belong to a church. That's 3 bishops or some elders or some presbyters or something in a church. And who do you think that is? More church people? No, that's your Supreme Court. That's a court. They wear black robes. They're cloaking the white shirt, meaning they're lying. They've got you in their prison. That is a courtroom right there. The black and white tile says that you're walking, just like in that Masonic temple, you're walking in a duality of lies. It's not the truth. That's the Taj Mahal right there. This is from ancient days. Why is it that in the Taj Mahal they got to have black and white? That's Donna Ana County, right here in New Mexico. This is a court. And they get black and white tiled. It's a church? Oh, no. It's a court? Oh, no. It's a temple? Oh, no. It's a Masonic temple. You're being initiated. That's a courtroom. Down the stairs, you've even got the black and white delusion. And, Yahweh, I create good and I create evil. I am the Lord of vengeance. I am jealous. That is my name. You will bow down and worship me. And you've all agreed to it. That's a church. I don't know, maybe it's a medieval church, but that's a huge cathedral church. And it's got the black and white tile. And this here is a church. And read what it says. Masonic checkerboard floor, a pattern found in many Renaissance-era Italian cathedrals. Black and white faces of cubes repeating. I thought we got out of that feudalism, right? Not so. We still have this going on in your local churches. Even Jehovah's Witnesses have these platforms. And friends, that is the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania. And you see, it doesn't matter if the tiles are diagonal or straight up and down. It just matters that on the floor, there will be black and white equally, because you're going to go through the world of delusion and lies of good and evil, punishment, pain and pleasure. And that, my friends, comes from the Masonic halls. All of you are being initiated into the satanic, Masonic rituals, ceremonies, propaganda, initiations, satanic rituals of the Masonic Church. You're in a temple. You're in a cult. Our society is a cult. It's not okay. The final curtain is about to come down. The show has already started. Sit back. They've made it so that everybody's got a little movie theater right in their own hand. From the comfort of your own home, you're going to sit there and watch the final show. It is going to be the most horrific, horrendous, epic, thriller, sci-fi, whodunit, dramatic, violent, XXX. Where do you think the X comes from? The sex? No, the curse. The hex. You're being hexed by Elon Musk and his XXX stuff and the space thing. It's a delusion. We didn't go to the moon. My goodness, it was made by theatrical Hollywood Spielberg producers and actors like George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Robert Downey Jr., Gene Hackman, who just died a miserable death. An old man being taken care of by some poor lady who also died while taking care of him. They're humans. They're dying. They don't even know who they are or what they're doing. But they're in a cult and they don't know it. And they're flashing all the signs. They're all brought up in the highest of these cult orders, Judaism. And then under the umbrella, under the Masonic umbrella that they have protracted around the world, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, and Lutherans, and Baptists, Catholics were the original, but and the Catholics made Islam and all the tabernacles in India. They weren't made by Hindus. They got monks, everything, the bells and all the whistles and the cathedrals and the glass, the stained glass. It's all the pews, the black robes. It's all across the board run by a elite society of evil, wicked people that are initiating you into a satanic cult. The entire world is initiated into it now. And if we don't wake up and stop participating, I think it's immoral to go to any religious service or church. It's immoral when you see that maybe they don't even know what they're doing, but they just got to have a black coat and a white shirt underneath, right? Or pews and an altar and steps leading to the platform. They got to have the checkerboard, the steeple, the stained glass. When I know some of the churches, oh, not our church, Dave, we're interdenominational and blah, blah, blah. Well, they're all still going by the script. You know, I'm going to do a whole video. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it today about the main thing that is entrapping and seducing you. Well, I'm talking about it, but the main thing in that whole seduction is your beliefs, which are not real, but you've become accustomed to thinking you have to believe something. And it's got to be some great pumpkin that comes on October the 31st every year, the great Halloween pumpkin, right? And we all go out and watch the great pumpkin rise out of the pumpkin patch, and we believe with all of our hearts. You say, oh, Dave, don't you believe in the Bible? Yeah, I believe in the Bible. The Bible's an ancient work. And here's what the Bible says. They did all this pomp and religious insanity, and they were hypocrites. And the Lord himself finally had to come and say, stop it. you hypocrites. These religious leaders in their black robes were condemning everybody. Oh, she's an adulterer. Oh, there's a drunkard. That one's been looking at girls. We know that's a bad one. And they were condemning everybody. And Jesus was condemned because he wouldn't worship their God. He wouldn't bow down. He wouldn't keep their Sabbath. He says, my Father keeps working until now, and so I keep working. Oh, well, but Lord, surely you know that this woman was caught in the act of adultery. You've got to stone her if you believe in the Bible. And Jesus said, well, no, thank you, I don't. Thank you very much. Your God's the devil. Your father is the devil. What is God? Well, Jesus never said anything about God. Oh, but do you think Jesus is God, Dave? No, Jesus never even said the word God. He said, my Father. We're supposed to pray our Father. And he talked about the Divine Mother, but you guys are so blind you don't even know it. You've never read the Bible with your eyes open because you're indoctrinated with lies. The Apostle Paul talks about their fables, Jewish fables. That's the mythologies that you take literally. And the genealogies. There's neither Jew nor Greek. Oh, but they're a different religion and they're a different race. And, well, you know, that's a different country. We can go bomb them, right? It's all orchestrated. It's all being set up. And the number one thing that you've got to stop doing is believing in God. Because God, and I don't say the word, I try not to, it's not in the Bible. In the beginning, it was Elohim, that's a plural word, and El means all, the divine mind, the divine spirit, love that pervades everything in all, through all, and above all. It's not a man. We don't get down and worship him. That's Yahweh, the deity of vengeance, who demands that you worship him. His first 3 commandments. You get down and worship me. The 4th commandment, you got to be a slave. 6 days shall you slave. And on the 7th day, you'll come to my temple and get your punishment and your instructions. And you're all a bunch of fools. And Jesus said so. He called you all hypocrites. And he said, if you don't wake up, well, the Queen of Sheba is going to rise up in judgment and condemn you all. I guarantee it. Now, I wanted to show you what the inside of a Masonic hall looked like. It's a big theater. And when you kids go down there to the theater and look at your violent porn and your thrillers from Manillas, you're literally indoctrinating yourself into the Church of Satan. Look at this. I was going to show you a Masonic theater, how inside the Masonic halls, like a Kingdom Hall, you know, you Jehovah's Witnesses, there is a stage and they have the curtains, just like theater, you know, the curtains, and people get up on the stage and you step up. But I thought, why not just show you? I look up Masonic Theater Hall, and that one on the left there, the whole building just looks like a big theater, doesn't it? Because that's what they are. They're assembly halls. And why do you assemble? Because you're going to get your instructions at the court, which is the court of a temple. These are Masonic halls, temples, and you're getting your instructions, and they're teaching you with theater, with imagery, with symbols. This is Masonic. Nothing different than when, you know, what Lincoln was shot at a theater, right? What is it, a Masonic hall? You see, it isn't just Masons that go to these temples to be indoctrinated. It is every one of you. You're all in the Masonic order, one at some low level in the Masonic order, in whatever church you've got. Even if you don't go to church, you go to a theater, you're listening to the pop culture, you're listening to your idols sing to you on the stage behind a curtain. They're propagandizing you. They are initiating you, but they have become apostate, and they're initiating you into Satanism. And you won't wake up, you foolish children. Step right up and get your tickets to hell. Look at these buildings. These Masonic buildings, that one's in Detroit on the left. That's one of the biggest ones. But It's basically where we get these big buildings, banks. The biggest buildings are banks and insurance. It's fraudulent. That's why it takes a master mason like Donald Trump or Jared Kushner, who's also a master mason. And they're going to build Gaza. Oh, make it a resort. You bet. Come on down, you idiots. These buildings they all got steeples or some kind of bells or gargoyles. Gargoyles will protect the place from demons. That's what a gargoyle is. And the stained glass windows or the bells or all of it is religious paraphernalia. Ancient Egypt, they had the great temple in Athens, the great temples, the pillars. You walk through the pillars, you're entering into an initiation to go to the theater, to be propagandized, to be initiated. Now go back to that picture. Remember that picture? You walk through the pillars, that's the door, right, to all these temples. And then there's the black and white, and there's the altar. And you're being initiated into this propaganda. Satan has taken over the temple of great Enoch, my friends. All of you are agreeing to the initiation by going to the city and living in the city and being part of the society, the secret society that you think you don't know anything about because it's secret. You don't know. You're in a society. You don't know. You got to eat, right? Well, you're just a minister. All you churches are wearing your black robes or your black suitcase coats and your white shirt that you're cloaking the truth. All your courthouses. Do you know that your courthouses here in America are called the magistrate courts because you're literally bowing and saying, "Oh, sire, oh, sir." Every time you say, "Oh, sir," hello, sir, mister. Mister means master. Sir means sire. You bow, your honor, your majesty. Don't do it anymore. Refuse it. Stop it. You're being indoctrinated into a cult. So basically, everything you're seeing and witnessing, your religion's not real. You're being duped. There's no big guy with a beard hovering up there is going to send you to... You're being duped. And your government, they bring you down there and they say, put your hand on the Bible, right? And swear that you'll tell the truth, but they don't tell the truth. And they got millions of these people locked up in prison and millions of people on the street dying, kicking them around, handing them drugs on the end down by the corner. They give them needles, right? It's like, it's so evil. It is sick. And you guys think, oh, look, we're going to war. Why don't we just say, you know what? Let's call the White House. Say, you know what? Screw it. We're done. We ain't listening. We're going to turn off this stupid news. We will never watch it again. We don't believe in you. How about just a couple of you? I haven't even seen nobody that's willing to go out into the mountains and buy a little land. Oh, I ain't got the money to buy land. Okay. You don't got $5,000 to put on an acre or two down here. That's about what it costs. Can you come up with a few $100s for a down payment? Man, you need to get out of the city and you need to get out now. Because Trump's declaring war. Oh, he's declaring war on the people, on the children. Oh, man, on the terrorists and on everybody. And boy, he's going to just drop a bomb. You know what? They literally basically declared war on Venezuela back there in October 15th or whatever it was, the Feast of Tabernacles. And we've been bombing them. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. He's getting ready to nuke Iran, somebody said. I don't know. Is Russia going to join in? I guess there's Russian fleet out there along Venezuela and along the American coasts. Right? He's got a running war with the media. Well, we know that, right? And that's entertaining, right? He's a great guy. We love him. He's the Messiah. Oh, Israel's declared him the Messiah. They got the red heifer already sacrificed. And we're all just getting our seats, getting our popcorn. And you all just think, this is great. Give me the Neuralink. I want to go right on into the screen, right? And live it. You people are really not getting it. You're all going to die within months, couple of years. It's coming. They're the great tribulation, the famine, the pestilence. Better get your ID card. You won't be able to buy or sell, right? No, don't do it. You got literally weeks, days, I don't know, before this whole thing goes down and the final curtain drops. And then you better decide what you're going to do. Because there's no buying or selling without the mark of the beast. Do you understand me? And that means participation with Babylon, because you got to get out of Babylon, or else you'll share with her in her sins and partake of her plagues, friends. I guarantee it. And I'm not being theatrical here. I'm trying to wake you up. I'm trying to tell you the truth. And I'm begging you, all of you, I'm doing my part. I'm doing the best I can. But nobody, they got me shadow banned. Nobody's watching my videos. Please get these videos out to every man, woman, and child, because they got a psyop coming. Oh, buddy, they got a psyop coming. If you guys won't go willingly into the New World Order, well, they're going to bring an alien ship, right? It's kind of, I guess they said it's coming. It's coming. Oh, buddy. You know, and Elon Musk, you know, he thinks it's coming too, right? And they're all saying it. Joe Rogan's like, he's very, you know, it's very suspicious. And, you know, he does a whole show on it. And what is this? And, you know, they got all their people that coming on and interviewing, you know, some scientist or something. Do you think that the world could have been here 1 billion years and just evolved from a pollywog? Well, yes, of course we do, you know? Yeah. So, anywho, guys, I'm just saying, everything you're watching on your television, on your phone, that TikTok, that is just nothing but an advertisement for Satan. And if you keep on, look, I understand it's tough. You're in the world. You got to live in the world, but be no part of it, Paul says. But he didn't mean you got to live in the city or in the worldly, you know, society. He meant, you know, because early Christians got out of the world. They lived in communities. They had all things common. And that's what we are supposed to do. And for all of you who want to do this, let's get serious. I've had a couple of people email me and like, oh, there's land out there. I haven't seen nobody buying any land out here and letting me know, hey, I'm down over the corner. Come on down. Let's visit. Let's have a bonfire tonight. Let's help each other raise this cabin. You know, this is what we need to be doing right now. We ain't got no more time. I am telling you, you've got no more time. You need to get you some land. And I'm telling you, I think you should do it out here where I'm at. Somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. If you're in another country, well, find a place to get the heck out of the cities. Get out of Dodge, guys. It's coming soon. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. You know the Lord loves everybody. It's up to you. You have to receive it. His grace is free. Just pray, seek the Lord, and you shall find. His grace and His peace will be with you. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.